But we've got this sort of belief, like we all have the bias. I mean, we know what's around us. I'm walking around New York. You can get any kind of food in the world. I walk 4 miles from Central Park to get here, and I'm looking at all the restaurants and all the great flavors and food and all the cultures. And we have this belief that we're supposed to eat a bunch of colors and all these beautiful things from the rainbow. And then you just kind of think about it. And you go back into our history. We don't have to go back 50 years, 50,000 years. We can go back 200 years. And we're like, how would that even have been plausible? I would have never been able to eat Indian food and, African food and South American food in the same block. I mean, this is stuff that doesn't even grow on the same continent. And so there's people like, we've got this sort of concept that this balanced diet, we have to have a balanced diet. And then you look at what's on the balanced diet and you're like, well, that doesn't even grow on the same continent as that. How would I have ever done that before? How would I have done that before modern refrigeration and modern, transportation, worldwide transportation? Wasn't even plausible. I mean, even if we say we eat just an omnivorous diet, which clearly we are omnivorous animals, I would say there's some argument about being a facultative carnivore. But if you think about the plausibility, and I mentioned this before, what food can we get in every continent, all throughout the year, every season, and it's not a plant. I mean, there's no plant that grows everywhere on the planet that you can say, I must have that. But you can get animals everywhere, and we've eaten every animal on the planet. I mean, we are apex predators. We've eaten whales, we've eaten shark, we've eaten seal, we've eaten lion, we've eaten cow. There's no other animal that has done what we could do as far as being a predator. People say we don't have fangs and claws and pointy teeth. We've got a big brain. That was our weapon. Our brain is our weapon, and our brain developed because we had access to rich nutrition, high-calorie food. And you think about it from a foraging strategy. If you and I were to magically be transported back 200,000 years, and we've got a spear, and there's these food options, and we've got these slow, big moving animals that don't run away. You've been on safari. Elephants don't run from little animals because they're so big. They don't really have any natural predators. Maybe they're babies from a lion, but they're just so big, they don't run away. And so when humans kind of evolved spear technology, I mean, it was just a killing field. There's plenty of anthropologic evidence to indicate that. And so the question would be, would I eat these leaves, which one, don't provide any calories? I mean, there's no calories. And that's one of the reasons plant-based diet works well, because you're eating all this food and there's no calories in there. But two, they don't taste particularly good. If you and I were to walk around, well, I guess maybe Central Park, I don't know if there's much vegetation where we're at now, and start sampling random leaves we would get sick. We wouldn't want to eat that. There'd be no real reason to us to eat that. So I think, if I were to say what's a natural human diet, it's probably some fruit. It's probably a lot of meat. There's probably maybe some starches, maybe some nuts. Remember, underground, potatoes and seeds and nuts. If you don't prep them, you don't process them meticulously, they're very poisonous to us. Most people don't know that a handful of raw cashews will kill you.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Raw
Cashews will kill you if you eat them, 10 of them. If you eat like 5 or 6 raw kidney beans, they'll kill you. They literally will die. So we had to figure this out. We had to figure out how to make those foods access their nutrition and reduce their toxicity. And then their soaking and sprouting and cooking eventually helped us out and all those things. But prior to that, those things would not have been good food choices. I mean, all the roots and stuff like that were extremely fibrous. We've done all the breeding, so we make them more starchy, so there's more calories in. But initially, it wasn't a particularly good source of food, and that would not have been reliable to grow this big brain.
So it would have had to have been meat, is what you're saying.
Well, look at this.